Hey everyone, welcome back to the Summer Challenger Qualifier Finals. It's time for the last game of the night. It's Game 3 between CLG Black and Cloud9 Tempest. Whoever wins this one will clinch their spot in the Summer Challenger Series here in North America. And I gotta say, CLB turned it on that game. Frost on Vayne, went for the counter pick against Sivir, found the split push power, found the team fights. His team peeled for him well, much better than they did in Game 1. He stepped up massive. Scar's AP Cog, also stupidly good. Very well played game by CLB.
Yeah, and Lorelo in the top lane stepped up 14 out of the 15 kills he participated in. So he did a really good job appealing for his team, being that front line for Frost. And Frost, even though he's the new guy on the roster, he's the sub, he's in here pretty fresh onto them. And the fact that he didn't even play with them previously when they won their 2 matches versus Maelstrom Gaming, right? That was still Stixay. So Frost on this roster is pretty untested, and that's what I want to see. Like, they tried to attack it. C9 tried to attack that in Game 1. They tried to attack it in Game 2, and Frost kind of deflected it because the rest of the team was doing other things.
Yeah.
So the C9 strategy where they kept going back to, oh, Frost is something we can exploit, it didn't work out that second game. And instead, they ended up getting exploited because Lorelo came from a different angle. Scar was a big threat too. So I want to see more multi-threat compositions here, and I want to see more split push with the 2 threats. So like that's what I want to see from these 2 teams because they both seem to excel at the same type of play.
That's true. They've been picking similar-ish compositions, a bunch of wave clear. The last one is more split push focused by CLB, and that worked very well. We've seen split push actually be very successful just so far tonight. We saw Misfits run something very similar where the Aurelia in the top lane from the mid lane did amazing things, and Alex Ich did awesome. So yeah, we need to see just what these people think is important. It's funny because normally in a best of series, we talk about it back in the NA LCS playoffs. If your comp worked, stick with it and make them react to it. We saw C9T just peel for Jinx.
Yep.
Ziggs was there to make sure nothing happened that was crazy, and Jinx just went rolling, and Laud was stupidly far ahead, and he crushed the game by himself. He had the option of playing Jinx, went for Sivir, went for a different comp. CLB mixed it up, and it worked great. And I hope for CLB's sake, they realized that, like, this whole Vayne Kog'Maw thing was wonderful. Let's do it again. Let's go pick these advantageous matchups where Gnar can split push.
I don't know. I'm really scared of like another Vayne being locked in. I know that it's a really good champion for Frost, but it doesn't work in like every scenario. It's a very selective champion. You can't just pick it into anything.
Sure.
And they're going to be back on blue side, so it's a very dangerous champion to pick.
Yeah,
blindly.
they get first pick, and they don't get to go for the final counter pick here. So we'll see what that turns into as far as champ select is concerned. But we can see exactly what CLB think is the most important. Like, given all the choices here, all the picks and bans, say, okay, this is what we need to deny from you guys, C9T. This is what we need to make sure our comps work. They're going to see the adaptations from there because 2 steals away for Red Side can also very easily stymie what CLB would want to do.
Yeah, and champion select coming up now. I want to see adjustments. I want to see things banned away. We talked about Ziggs being really big in games 1 and 2, and also in the previous series, Ziggs just kind of stops everybody from doing what they want to do. So I want to see that banned away here by either side, honestly. I want to see something new in the mid lane. I want to see less poke. I want to see all-ins.
Well, Echo is enabled, so
that's true.
Maybe we'll see him. We haven't actually gotten to see him played so far in the North American Challenger Series. Again, we did see him once yesterday over in Europe, or for the Europeans out there 2 days ago in Europe, but either way, Hecarim is gone. Ziggs banned away by CLG Black.
Test Jinte. He played it both times.
Yeah. I know he can play other mid-range team fight mages, but we'll see what else he does have for himself. Still, no one is allowing these supports to first pick Alistar. Seems to be the pick of the leader, the leader of the pack, the herd, whatever you want to call it. No Callisto for Frost. We keep going through bans.
Yeah, Alistar has been absolutely dominant pretty much throughout every region because he fits into pretty much every strategy.
Yep.
Because if you want to poke, he's great disengage. If you want to go in, he's great engage. If you want to dive turrets, he does that as well. Like, he is all around one of the best supports at the moment. Yeah. He's got really good lane pressure too.
Most multifaceted. He doesn't pick people off that well. Like, his engage range is worse than someone like Nautilus or Annie.
Yeah.
Like, Flash Headbutt Pulverize is kind of hard to do. Flash Timbers is easy.
Yeah. He still has enough lockup to pull something up.
Yeah, I mean,
off like
he
that,
has
so.
engaged. I'm just saying, like, in sort of the graph of who engages best, he's like 3rd, 4th down the list.
That's still pretty high.
I know it is.
He's really good.
I'm just pointing out things like, well, there's reasons you might go Annie. I'm just
Gotcha.
sort of fleshing out the conversation.
Gotcha.
I'm not disagreeing with you as far as his power is concerned. I think it's a worthy ban, absolutely. Rise banned away, also obviously very, very worthy. Rek'Sai banned out by CLB, and the insta-lock into Gragas. They realized with Rise still left on the table, they knew that had to be banned away. They got to pinch junglers.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I love seeing is if you're going to pinch junglers, you're going to force them onto Sejuani hard. He did play Nunu, and they synergized it with Jinx more often than not from Laud, and then they also had a Janna behind it too. So I want to see something along those lines with the Nunu coming out from hard, because that's a champion that he's had some great performances on in the past.
We'll see if that ends up being the choice for them. And hey, who else to play Nunu with but Jinx, right? Just the great backline power could be there for C9T if they choose to go for that kind of a style. 25 seconds to go. C9T also very controlled of their champ select. They don't hover. They make sure they're on the same page.
People are learning.
Together. Yeah, I mean, this is the old C9 way, and I'm glad it's actually trickling down to everyone else over time. They decide Sivir's the champion they want, though. No, Maokai's the champion they want. Solo, his third game in a row, I believe, on the champion, and they do, in fact, say they still want Sivir.
All right, I guess they still want it. They want to run straight at somebody, but that's really risky. I'm not 100% sold on that. I think Laud's performance on Jinx was really good, although he has had, that was his first loss on Sivir, and their first loss in general, so he's 4-1 on it. So I can't knock it too hard, but it needs the right champions around it. And Jintei's champion pool just doesn't seem to be the same as Yasui's, right? Yasui was all about jumping in there, all about getting into the fray. Jintei's more of a poke guy.
Yeah, Sivir can help you disengage as the poke champion, but when he got out-poked by the Kog'Maw, then things didn't mean much of anything. This is actually where I would expect to see that Kog'Maw picked, by the way. Even though we know there are counter picks out there, Jintei doesn't play that kind of stuff. I believe Scar actually did blind pick the Cog earlier on. If I could be wrong in that one, actually.
He did. He did, and then the
Scar was happy to blind pick it. Now they get rid of the Ziggs that they won against, but they don't go for the Cog here. Gnar picked up, which was safe anyway. They saw Maokai, also Vayne, even though they saw Sivir. So CLG Black back to, playing reactive picks, not showing anything they don't have to aside from that earlier pitch onto Gragas.
And they don't care about, like, oh, we'll get a power pick early on. They're like,
just the one.
Like jungler, that's fine. Now we're going to react to all of your picks instead of securing meta things that are like number 1 and 2 in the roles. They're still getting things that are along those lines. I think that Frost on this Vayne, I talked about I would be scared to see a Vayne. It only succeeds in certain situations. And hard, I want to see the Nunu now from him, because that's the best pick now, because that just destroys Vayne late game. You snowball or you ulti her. Even if he goes like challenging smite, you put even more pressure on her.
I would almost do a jungle Nautilus just to have like as far as things that exist that mess with Vayne, right? Like, let me do some point and click CC that you can't tumble out of or even easily QSS, but you're right. Nunu, there it is. Going to be the hover, going to be the lock-in, and Jintei does take the Kog'Maw away, so as far as good poke champions are concerned, Kog'Maw's up there. It's a good replacement for Ziggs, and it denies it from Skara, who did very well in the champion earlier.
Yeah, denying it from Skara is pretty much the main point here, and the fact that he doesn't get Ziggs, he gets to go on another poke champion, so he doesn't really have to change his style or the style that he's fitting in, because he is a substitute on Cloud9 Tempest. They don't have to change too much between games, because he's just going to be filling the same role. It's not him on an assassin. They're like, okay, he's coming in with us. So I like that he's going with something pretty similar in terms of play style and pattern.
Yeah. And I think it'll work well for Jintei. So C9T, they do show their mid laner here, which means CLG Black can, as they've been doing this entire time of champ select, counter pick another lane. This one, the mid lane, the only blind pick they've had all of champ select is the Gragas, which is fine, it's a pinch. And now they have to blind pick their support into a lane matchup that they're already kind of fairly aware of.
Yeah, support-wise, Sheep, I mean, he could go with Thresh and start fights as well and be alongside Solo and Laud starting the fights. But I think it's going to be more along the lines of like a Janna or something, because like they need something to peel and something to keep people away.
Yeah.
Especially with LeBlanc now, because LeBlanc coming in, that signals that you're going to need something to help peel, because he's just going to get straight to Jintei every time. So Skara on LeBlanc this game, trying to take it over, over very early, because he just played AP Cog, and he realized if I start losing blues, if I start losing mid lane, you're not going to lose too much to a Ziggs. If you lose to a LeBlanc, though, you get chunked out, your blue gets sacrificed.
You just die over and over again.
Exactly. There's all this pressure you can put on the AP Cog and try to keep him down. And there,
Okay, so Janna gets picked up here. Now, the big detriment is that C9T have exactly one point-and-click hard CC, and that is Maokai root, that he can maybe try to lock down LeBlanc, but there are very few tools to actually stop Scar from running all over these team fights.
You just need that one of Maokai, though. That Maokai route really messes up LeBlanc, but LeBlanc, if he plays it well, can actually mess up the Maokai pretty hard.
Exactly. So it can be a bit of a risk, but C9T have their poke in here, and CLG Black actually splitting up or switching up their team comp a little bit. This is the first time we're seeing Skara not on a poke champion. It was Varus in Game 1, Kog'Maw in Game 2. Now he's over on LeBlanc with practically the same supporting cast around this one. So CLB changing a core member of the composition without changing anything else.
Yeah, that's something we have to definitely keep our eyes on because he's going for that assassin into the AP Cog that he just played. He knows the spikes of that champion. Is he able to actually leverage that enough and start taking over the game and roaming? Because AP Kog'Maw just doesn't roam. Yeah.
Now, there's a couple things to point out then with this is we talk about how we think we need Skara to take over the game in order for CLB to win, or to be really useful for the team, right? Well, you've got a jungle mismatch in a certain case. You've got Gragas, who is one of the best gankers early game, body slam, explosive casts, all wonderful things, up against an immobile Kog'Maw, and he's not even going to cleanse much of anything in this comp in the first place. On the other side, you've got Nunu, who's not exactly the best early ganker. He can slow you down for like the Kog'Maw skill shots, but it's not exactly the same kind of emphasis.
Yeah. He's not going to really have that much impact in terms of ganking, but it all comes down to how hard is going to play it. I mean, I've seen Nunus walk up, snowball people, and then get a kill off of it because the person flashed away and they're still very slow. It also depends on what he maxes too, because if he goes for the consume max, it's really him just trying to keep Think Card down and control vision with the Scuttlers.
And he could do that too, of course. So you're right. How hard plays it definitely matters here. Right now, C9T looking for the defensive start in their own jungle, but they will not get invaded upon. No deep wards at all for C9T, but actually, Logic Gaming Black managed to sniff this out a little bit. They're actually sending Vayne and Nautilus into the bottom side and do get a nice ward on the Gromp. They put it down about 112, so it will definitely spot if that camp is started.
If it is started, Kenny will probably have something to say about it. Being that Nautilus very early on with the Riptide.
And it's a lane swap.
Yeah. Is he going to start on that side, though? Hard. Might get a little greedy for this. Maokai's coming over after. He's setting up the Raptors.
Yeah, and I think this is, by the way, as far as lane swaps are concerned, to the detriment of C9T. Maokai's a good jungler, but so is Gnar. The thing is, Sivir Janna is a very, very good early lane, and it will beat up Vayne Nautilus. There's just no tools for Vayne Nautilus to get back into that matchup. And C9T blind pick a lane swap, and it's incorrect here. Kenny is, in fact, going to walk in, try to harass this jungle path.
Yo, what's up? Nautilus here, trying to wreck your jungle route.
Easy smite for hard.
Yep. Smite, consume.
He's going to have ice mode blast, so it's still going to be a little bit difficult for Kenny.
Kenny does stand a little bit of a chance to actually steal this one because he knows consume is down, but he's actually just going to walk away.
Okay, there we go.
Waited for that last.
Yeah, they stopped hitting it and then consumed it. This is why you run smite on supports, by the way.
Then they get super paranoid and they don't even let it get in smite range. They're like, oh god, just make them get off of it. But they take so much damage.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really that serious.
No. Oh. Sorry. I usually take you serious. I should probably stop.
Since when do you take me seriously?
Never, I lied. Anyway, we see Kenny.
I was kidding. I didn't take you serious either. Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I take you serious on that or not.
You should.
Are you really sorry?
No. Ha! Think Card smites it away. So looks like 2 buffs for the blue side here. CLB able to get a pretty safe jungle path for Think Card, all things considered.
Everything coming to this bottom lane. 4 on 3. They see this though. Lorlo, that's they're trying to wrap around. I mean, it's a Nunu and a Janna. Level 1 Janna though.
All right, but she has exhaust, so the first person to dive is going to get really heavily slowed. Lorlo nowhere near Mega Gnar, and the whole time Lotta's getting solo farm on this Sivir.
I've seen this dive before. Enemy.
Oh man.
Let's see what happens this time.
All right.
Trying to walk right up.
Level 3 on Lorlo means he can disengage himself. The body slam lands a lot of damage on a sheep. Kenny has aggro, flashes away, takes the last turret shot and dies. First blood into Maokai, ice blast out of Lorlo. They get a trade kill back on a sheep, but it's still advantage for CLG Black. Indigo onto hard, and they will knock down the Nunu, but again traded back, so C9T is still trading equal.
At least they're trading equal, though. And it's going to be all this experience going to solo. Meanwhile, Laud is actually farming that huge top wave for himself. So they stop the Vayne farm, and they continue the farm of this Sivir. So Vayne's going to stick around. His bot lane, man, that's a big freeze. He's just getting beaten up by the minions. Oh, got a little too close.
Far, yeah. He's gonna lose a lot of, not only some of the CS, but also the freeze itself might break here. And in fact, there it is. There's the hard clear. Yeah, this freeze got broken. He didn't thin out the wave properly, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was afraid of taking too much damage, but it's a lane swap scenario. You should be a little more bold to actually take some of that damage that the minions are throwing at you.
Yeah, I mean, just hit him while the wave's still getting cleared in the first place. I think he might have been like watching the bot lane or something. Like, I don't know what it was, but there are ways to keep that freeze from screwing up like that. Unfortunate misplay by Laud. Not the end of the world, of course. This game is still absolutely fine. Pretty much equal game. The turret dive was interesting.
Oh, hard. Oh, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
That is a turret hitting you, and hard will go down. Kill goes over to Lorlo, thankfully. Kenny,
what were you doing?
Did some damage, but it wasn't quite enough. So that is a kill picked up. Yeah, I missed that. I think he was trying to go for some invades. He was Nunu after all, so if he wanted to steal like a Gromp or something, we'll have the replay in a second, actually. So you don't have to look yourself necessarily.
Boy, see what he was doing.
Okay, well, Zyrion's going to go look for what happened on that one.
I have no idea
we're going to have a deep replay anyway, so you're going to look at what happened. We're going to watch probably that tower dive, I'm guessing, on the screen, which was pretty interesting, I got to say. So, okay. Let's watch aggro. Kenny pulls it first because all he has to do is hit his cooldowns and then leave. Pops the ignite, gets rooted, which means he can't leave in time now.
Yep.
The Maokai Q secures it. Yeah, he can't get away now.
Oh, takes that last shot, but they get first blood, and ThinkCard picks up that kill for himself. But right here, it's actually a little confusing because you would think that ThinkCard actually pulls aggro on this, but he doesn't. It's actually...
in. Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, he does, and then he drops it. That's right.
Walks out of range, somebody heal to get him out.
But Lorlo
landed an auto hack to finish the kill.
ThinkCard.
And ThinkCard could have taken one more shot,
He was thinking he could take one more, yeah. The heal came out, though. They weren't expecting the heal from Frost to actually keep him healthy enough for it. Yeah.
Right? Like, how many 4-on-3 turret dives have you played with your sub? I haven't. Any.
Do you have a sub?
Yeah. Sure. Why not? Either way, haven't played in any 4-on-3 turret dives level 2 in my life, so good luck communicating that properly.
Yeah, it's actually a really hard turret dive to pull off in the first place.
Yeah.
He actually just walked by the pink ward, he walked by the river, and Kenny's like, okay, let's give him the old wraparound here. Low from the top, Kenny from the bottom. Oh, boy.
It's like, oh dear, that's the enemy team. Gets rooted up. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, he may have just been better off walking...
to the turret right away?
No, out the way he came.
Oh, just through the Gnar?
Through the Gnar. Like, you blood boil yourself, you frost him.
Yeah, Nautilus couldn't have reached you, so you're absolutely right. That could have been the way it did. But
we're back.
That beautiful replay to transition into the game going live.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, it took me a second.
A really long replay. We're going to replay the entire game, actually.
Oh, boy, speaking of replays, that's not going to happen right now. But I'm replaying this in my head because,
oh man, he stops the Kenny anchor out as well. Buys him a lot of time. Nice Q from Laud, who still hasn't bought yet, but does enough damage anyway. Gets the kill. C9T once again able to equalize. And it's money on their AD carry.
Back and forth between these two teams. Every game has been like this. They trade an objective, and then they just get it traded right back. Once you think a team has a foothold in the game, you really just can't count the other one out.
Right now, speaking of footholds, both these AD carries sitting on BF sword money. So let's go ahead and get a foothold into my items and do plenty more damage. Last time around, C9T looked for turrets to push down. And it would still be a good matchup for the Sivir to face Vayne with the attack damage lead.
Is that just a Janna by himself? Yeah, Sheep is just getting the freeze on in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, Laud was soloing top the entire time. That's why he's level 6. They let him solo farm up until he could get the BF sword buddy, then they swapped the lanes back.
Scar actually has quite a bit of pressure in this lane up against Jinte. You can see 13 CS up, even minion waves at the moment. Able to pressure him out.
Yeah, and this is actually going quite well. 15 CS lead for Skara, almost baiting them into picking the Kog'Maw. They had all the abilities to pick him second round on blue side and said, no, we don't need that. Go ahead and take it. We'll counterpick you. Totally fine.
They took it early. They last picked their support.
Which one?
On the side of C9T. They took the Kog'Maw early.
Right, that's what I mean. Scar was like, yeah, I'll let you take it. And C9T thought they were stealing, but Scar got a counterpick here.
They didn't wait for the counterpick in the mid lane. Instead, they let Scar get the counterpick in this game, and that might be what makes it. We'll have to keep tabs on if he keeps getting blues, if Scar can actually snowball this lead any further. But it's going to be the first back there for Jinte. Scar actually jukes it. He's going to continue to clear one more minion wave.
Oh man, Lorlo misses the jump though, and his flash is down, so if Solo lands the root, it's up in 5 seconds. He might kill him off. Down to
Hyper.
1 second to go.
Oh.
And it's too close to Meganar. Solo does not risk it. He would have died if he guessed that wrong. Meganar came in and transformed.
Oh, Hard's here. But they're
This is
contesting.
my jungle. I'm Nunu. Smite Consume gets it. FLICKR to jump the wall. Lot is here with the Sivir ulti on, and a lot of damage comes out of Kog'Maw. Kenny will Q away. He's one hit from dead, though, and Hard's in range. So is Laud. There's another kill. 2-0 on the AD carry.
They didn't want that blue buff to go over to Jinte, but Jinte had just backed. Scar hadn't backed yet. Scar had no items. So it was a disadvantage anyway. You see Frost gonna cut his losses, go straight to the bottom lane once again.
Yeah, that was overly greedy. CLG Black, one of the few big mid-game misplays I've seen from them, but that one caught him quite a bit.
I think C9T's gotten every first 2 dragons in this series. First 2 have gone over to them every
single game. I think you're right about that one. In game 1 it was 5, and then 1 got picked back. And then, yeah, in game 2 it was 2, and then 4 got picked back or something like that.
3 or 4.
Yeah. So you're seeing, the thing is, Frost doesn't have to be bot lane anymore. So the reason that we've kept seeing these lanes show up this way is, at this stage in the game, when you back for your first 1500 gold item, your dual lane has to be bot lane because they need to be there for Dragon. Otherwise, Drag goes for free. It's a bit of a bad matchup for Vayne at this small point in time, but it's where, like, she has to be. But now Dragon's gone. Now, actually, CLB could swap the lanes back over, put Vayne top lane, do cool things like that. And you can see that it takes so much time and effort. It's so difficult for CLB to win these trades. It's likely to still go C9T's way.
Yeah. It's a crazy game. I want to get to the point where everybody is just had their advantages created. No, oh my god.
What?
Hard has Poacher's Knife.
Whoa!
Oh man.
I haven't seen that item in about 2 months.
Is he gonna smite it and run away real fast? Oh
No, it's on
no.
cooldown. He can't.
Nope, he can't.
He gets bonus money from it, though.
Oh man, this
We can track how much cash dollars he's taken.
It's gonna be great.
57 gold earned so far from Harvest.
Smite it.
Vroom! I'm Nunu. I'm a jerk.
Man. I played Nunu with Poacher's Knife the other day, and I was like, this is never gonna be a thing. It's never gonna be a thing. But apparently it's a thing.
If you thought Nunu wasn't annoying enough, here's a Poacher's Knife. And the thing is, we asked about this at the very beginning of the game. Gragas is a really good early jungler. He can do a lot of cool things. How is Hard going to play it? He can try to counter gank, or he can try to keep the jungle down.
Yep.
Let's keep the jungle down.
Yeah, he's got the max consume going on. He's got the Poacher's Knife in his inventory. Every time you Poacher's Knife smite an enemy camp, you'll get bonus movement speed moving away from it, and you'll reduce the cooldown of your smite. But look at this.
Ignite is on, Cleanse is down. Scar needs one more spell, but doesn't quite. Oh, he does! Takes it out of the queue, but his distortion is... Never mind, it's back.
Yeah, low cooldown, level 9, already max rank on it, and he has the Fiendish Codex and the Forbidden Eye.
20 CDR and items, and a rank 5 distortion. Good things for Scar, man. This mid lane matchup is absolutely working. He might be the saving grace of this one.
Yeah, I also think he has CDR glyphs. He's got 30 MR.
It's AP per level or CDR per level. You don't know quite which. I don't remember the base cooldown, so I can't actually check what they're going to be. Now, the character screen's actually busted in 510
No.
Spectator, so I can't even see what his CDR is.
GG.
I know. Hard life.
Oh well. But regardless, picks up the solo kill onto Jinte, the LeBlanc counter pick working wonders for him. Jinte really wanted that poke champion, but now you can see 30 CS up for Skara. Making the plays happen. Already has the completed Morellonomicon to just the Tear and the Ether Wisp. It's a very painful road for this AP Kog'Maw. He didn't get that first blue either.
Yep. Very long road ahead.
Oh man, I love this idea too from Hard. Just roaming around the jungle, smiting as much as possible.
He really wants the wolf camp too, just to get the wolf spirit to track the 3 camps in the western jungle. It's back up right now.
Did he ever clear it?
He got it last time. He didn't clear the full thing, so we just don't have the timer anymore. But he got the last wolf spirit. And that's just so useful. You can track literally half the enemy junglers camps. Lorlo up in the top lane again, goes Hex Drinker first. Wants to be able to deal with solo up in here. If the lanes get swapped, Laud will easily win that matchup and chunk these turrets down. But right now, Lorlo is built for the one-on-one against the Maokai. Lot has actually been pushed into his turret quite a bit here, oddly enough. Recall back for Pickaxe and the Average Blade, though. A lot of money coming through, but Blade of the Ruin King without boots is done for Frost. Still doesn't feel great to be the Babe without the movement speed, though. It'll be a bit hard to win the one-on-ones. It can happen, but it's difficult.
C9T, this 1K gold advantage, or 600 gold advantage, where's it coming from? Just coming from catching these minion waves, apparently. It's from hard! And yeah, it's kind of from hard. 600 hard and Lod.
Oh, Scara, be careful though. You just gotta face check slow, and Cog's doing some damage to you.
It looks like Scar's up about 700 gold, but then there's a 600 gold advantage for Hard and Lod. Hard has just been farming. You can see he's got 45 CS to 43, but he's getting the valuable CS of the camps.
Yeah.
He's getting those scuttlers, and that's only going to be 1 point added in, but it's like 80 gold. So his CS is a little deceptive. Also, he's getting more from Poacher's Knife when he actually clears the enemy camps.
Those all spell good things for the C9T lineup. They're up just a little bit. Scara, the only lane that's truly winning right now for CLG Black. The rest of C9T doing great thing all the way down the line. Lod is pushed in underneath the turret, does a bit of damage, but this is actually an overextension. It's going to take a lot of damage from Frost.
Nice trade back there. Sheep immediately coming to his rescue. Oh, almost.
If they knew where Nunu was, that actually could have been an engage. Frost could have ult tumbled in, gone for the Ruin King slow, and that might have been a dead Sivir.
Yeah, might have to blow the ultimate from Sheep, but if they were able to chase it down,
that's a worth
trade. Lod also had his too, so if you get enough ultimates out.
I mean, Dragon's up right now. Like, why not burn those ultis and make life easy? I mean, just chunking Lod to half would have been enough to get a Dragon fight there, so... one small fight missed by CLB, but that's okay. Recall's not coming in just yet. We've seen both mid laners come back. Still no Ludens for Jinte, but Sorceries are done for Scara as Dragon has respawned. Top laners, Lorlo is missing teleport. He needs 2 minutes for that cooldown to come back. So C9T, if they've been timing it right, should know they have a teleport advantage for this Dragon, and they're walking towards it now. Yeah,
you talk about no Ludens for Jinte. It's going to be pain. He's about 500, 600 gold away from the needlessly large rod. So this next fight is definitely not going to have him with that needlessly large rod, but look at that.
They're not going to have Lorlo at all, so who even cares? C9T. Yeah.
ThinkHard backed on the ward, so they had full knowledge that ThinkHard was not going to be in the area to steal it. So they immediately go for it. And it's even hard to steal from Nunu in the first place.
Well, they know that all of C9T was bot lane, so Logic Gaming Black go for the hard push towards the top side. Sapling over the wall, actually. I believe ThinkHard saw him.
They're just going to shove middle, though.
And that's a pretty big problem, actually. Jinte and Hard together could do a fair bit of damage. Scar does what he can to defend it, and it's going to be actually okay for them.
Scar is 2 levels up right now. He's doing an amazing job in his mid lane.
They're going to land the stun on the Lot. In goes Frost, the reset from Janna, and the teleport coming in for Solo, but I don't think he's going to find anything here. Lot is 1 hit from dead. He's going to flash engage, but what follow-up even is there? Turns out that's going to be the follow-up. Lot will survive. Bloodbow to get him out of turret range, and they're going to knock that turret down. It's a trade for top lane, though. As ThinkHard and Lorlo keep going.
There's nobody on this top lane, though, and Frost is still in this bottom lane. Frost can clear these waves, but they might lose another one in that top lane. But to see. Frost got to be very aggressive.
Yeah, 1 versus 3. 1 misstep and Ice Blast turns into a Maokai, turns into death.
Oh, they're going to try to wrap around right now. Jinte, no flash, no cleanse. If he can knock him straight into Scara, it's going to be disaster.
Can't dodge it, just wait. There's the point blank body slam. There's all the burst, and ThinkHard can cleanly walk away. Again, playing around Scara. He's 2-0 and up 50 minions in this mid lane.
And Frost stepping up to the plate as the substitute. Jinte, though, in this game, he's been exploited. His champion pool, they banned away the Ziggs. Good strategy there by CLB, forcing him onto a different champion. He picked it early to stop Scar from playing it again, and it was just a bait.
Man, I wish Jinte were playing Deep Sea Kog'Maw to really show us what kind of a bait it was.
See, there you go. You go with the voice when you tell a pun. You get very deliberate with what you're saying.
Make sure you hear every word. Aiden, your face. Get it? Because it's funny. That's the joke. Zyrene.
They make you cry in front of all these people, man.
You're not on camera.
It's rude.
I mean, we'll see your makeup run, but that's it.
Rude.
Well, turrets right on both sides. Lod goes top side because Dragon's off the map, and why not push things with 80 bonus damage? But the same thing is to happen for Frost, who still hasn't recalled yet. He's got a lot of money in his pockets, but there's no defense here. Top lane tier 2. It's Nunu Janna plus an 80 carry. Simmer just destroys this crap.
This is exactly the same. When I talked about when they run Jinx in this composition where it's Nunu Janna, this is what they do. They knock down the turrets by grouping up with Lod regardless of his 80 carry. Give him the shield. Give him the blood boil. Destroys turrets so quickly. And you can see in comparison how long it takes. The
ghetto version of that same thing.
The ghetto version.
It's like, it's Nautilus Gragas Vayne. We're so good at this. My Ruin King damage doesn't affect turrets.
And nobody buffs anybody else.
Gragas buffs himself.
Whoa, whoa,
This is really aggressive by Scar. Goodbye.
Too far forward.
And Lorlo and ThinkCard and Kenny kind of walking through the team. Very awkward by CLG Black. Gnarlsome towards the turret. Wow, Lod's actually pretty screwed here, but he thankfully didn't have turret aggro until just now. But suddenly Frost shows up and ThinkCard stays alive. How about some Vayne cleanup? Stuns Solo into the wall. A shutdown. What just happened?
Another Scara bait?
What is up with Scara baits in this series?
Scara just dies and his team will win the fight. He just has to start the fight with his body. That's it. They use so much to get to him, and boom.
They used a Maokai W at melee range.
I know, they went way too far up to the turret.
What happened?
They got wrapped around there, and Lod just had no escape route. He was caught between a rock and a hard place, and Frost came in the last couple of moments.
Frost had 3,000 gold in the bank. He bought Phantom Dancer Boots 1 after that fight. Imagine if he fought with real items in that battle.
It would have been one harder. It would have been one in the same fashion.
Sure.
But yeah, Scar right there, he's like, Solo, really good job there of camping both distortion returns. Because regardless of which one Scar had gone back to, Solo would have locked him.
No wonder.
Yeah, Jinte was on the bottom side trying to clear because they pushed down that tier 2. And then Frost comes in, and there's really no escaping here at this point.
That explosive cast was so massive.
Yeah,
that was so clutch.
Disengaged them, kept Lod on the right side. ThinkCard's been having a great game with these ganks and the explosive casts. That's why they first picked it for him. It gave him that early aggression. They banned out the Rek'Sai. Really just good pick ban from CLG Black. They're playing their own game right now, and they're making Cloud9 Tempest kind of struggle to play theirs.
Yeah, it's been difficult. Jinte is just held down. He just now is level 11 with Eludin's Echo. They managed to get the first 2 dragons without him, which is impressive stuff, but now we're up to Dragon 3. And yet again, C9T are going to have the TP advantage for it.
They do have the better siege, though. Much better siege. There's no wave clear in this composition from CLG Black. It's really all Scar trying to pop in there.
That's true. Lack of wave clear is a pretty scary thing when your opponents like sieging against you.
They do have the split push, though, of Lorlo. So that's always...
They have 3 potential split pushers. Like,
yeah.
Just depends on the permutation.
Split push is always pretty good against sieging. You force your enemies into a different option. You force them into we have to go, or we have to continue poking but give up a turret. It's a tricky situation, especially if Lorlo gets massively ahead of Solo. Then it just opens up the entire map, and they don't really have to care too much about the sieging. All right, Dragon soon. Dragon very soon.
And no TV for Lorlo for 2 minutes. Solo's already top lane. Hard engaged. Good flash by Jinte, but forced to cleanse as well to get out of it.
They still want to fight, though. There's Lod.
Is the engage. Vayne's almost in range. ThinkCard gets killed first. Here comes the TP on in. Solo to join the fight. Can he get much of anything? Scar incredibly low. Force the distortion out. TP means nothing, in fact, but it at least means they can run towards Dragon.
That's going to be the 3rd Dragon for C9T if they pick it up. ThinkCard a little too far forward. Lorlo wasn't prepped for that fight with his Mega Gnar. Also didn't have the TP, so Solo was able to push out with the split push. And Hard just really good positioning to get into these fights. Walking up, waddling up as a Nunu. Got the slow on the right people and kept ThinkCard engaged.
Good stuff then. 1,000 gold lead still for CLG Black, but 3 dragons to 0 is a pretty big deal here. This game determines who joins the North American Challenger Series. The loser must face Magnetic, former TSM Darkness, for the final spot in the 3rd place match next Tuesday. But it would sure be nice to get your spot right now. Frost, the newcomer 80 carry. 1-0-3 on Vayne. He seems to be the big carry hope. Scara won the lane, but
they dragged him back.
Then, yeah, he dragged Solo in, and Solo really by himself, living up to his name. The dive from Frost, a bit aggressive though, gets chunked out by Kog and Sivir. He screwed that fight up, but Lod chasing him for the kill will also get chunked out. Both 80 carries are dead for that.
What?
Both 80 carries went over aggressive.
when you have these frontliners, like you have a Nautilus, a Gragas, a Gnar, a Nunu, a Maokai, like these AD carries are just like, let's kill each other in the middle of everything.
You don't have to be Vayne to do Vayne spotting in this one. Both of them going hard.
Screw the back line. Screw the front line. Run past them.
And man, when you have movement speed buffs, it's easy, right? Vayne's even got Phantom Dancer to walk through things.
Oh,
there's no champion block.
No unit collision, no minion block, no creep block. Laud didn't even use his ultimate there. Didn't have it at the time, I believe. If he did, then he could have gotten in there faster
and died sooner. I mean, Benzie would have respawned sooner too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Luden's Echo completed for Scarra, so now he has his own burst. And I love this Luden's Echo on her. Absolutely, just giving her that break point where she just has to distortion a creep wave and blows up. And now Jinte isn't safe, Laud isn't safe, and there really isn't anybody who can peel him except for the Janna with an ultimate or a nice tornado, or the Maokai point and flick. But that's about it. So Laud is going to have to watch the positioning. Jinte,
yeah, absolutely. LeBlanc is a scary champion. Now, one cool thing about the Poacher's Knife that Hard has bought is it allows us to track how many camps he's actually taken, because you can look at his total gold earned through Harvest. And it's the base value of the camp plus 20, and he's at 268 gold earned from Harvest, which is like about 5 camps. Since buying Poacher's Knife, he's gotten about 5 camps to left.
Yeah, Poacher's Knife, the reason I don't like it is it telegraphs exactly what you want to do. Like, people are like, all right, you know, Trailblazers is fine, because it's like, I want to farm my jungle, but it means I also want to gank, because I have more HP and mana when I show up to these ganks, right? I stay healthy in the jungle. So I clear it quickly, and I get there. So it's like, it's double faceted. It has 2 things it can do. We have like challenging smite, it's like, okay, I want to be able to go after late game threats, but I can also just go ahead and duel the enemy jungler and go into his jungle and fight him there. Poacher's Knife, though, pretty one-dimensional. Poacher's Knife is always a little bit of a disadvantage, too, because if you walk up to somebody who has Skirmisher Saber or something to duel,
they're trying to catch
you're going to
Lorlo.
lose it. And Lorlo's caught at this point. There's no escape for him. But that's going to be the Baron started up here. If he stays alive long enough. Wait. Is he going to get Mega Gnar? He might get Mega Gnar.
Q Flash from Solo says no thank you. TP is down for the Maokai. The rest of the team able to run back towards mid. No Baron will happen, but mid lane's getting pushed out. This will fall. C9T getting back into this one. And they will get close in gold after this within 1,000.
I'm actually really astonished that CLB decided not to flank around C9T afterwards, because C9T, they were still only 4 men strong. Solo was chunked out, didn't have a way to get into this fight with TP, and didn't even have the HP to contest. So if they had the right angle into it, CLB could have punished C9T there, especially with Explosive Cask and the likes up.
And I mean, getting a flank with the likes of LeBlanc and Vayne is a field day for those champions. They excel and spread out, you know, 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, things like that. Didn't happen. CLB still playing a little bit gun shy. They don't have that same poke composition, so they've got many fewer tools to pressure the map with. Scarra still playing fairly aggressively, still doing some damage, but just doesn't seem to be quite the same impact as when he was playing that AP Kog'Maw. And he was actually knocking people off turrets.
I mean, he still has the most kills on his team. He's 3-1-0.
Yeah.
He's got 50 CS up over his lane opponent.
Yeah,
He's
he won
doing
lane.
Good job there.
I mean, he definitely won lane.
But Kog'Maw doesn't, like, if Kog'Maw goes even, then that's a win for Kog'Maw.
Right, like, thing is, Scar has the lowest kill participation in this game.
Yeah.
There are 3 kills, but that's all he's done.
He solo killed Jinte, though, so his contribution cannot be understated.
I think it's, to me it's like a bit hard to measure, and I don't know. He did win lane really hard.
Yeah, he was 2 levels up at one point, but of course his experience, you need more of it. He ends up just 1 level up,
Blood-boiled Kog'Maw. Double marksman comp is here.
Yeah. Boom! There we go.
Actually pretty relevant, to be honest.
Talked about it being a marksman. Made me right.
Play to the Ruin King.
Boom.
Just Kog'Maw things. Yeah, so Solo is tanky enough. Frozen Heart,
always
Tread, Spectre's Cowl.
It's risky!
Scarra gets caught up and basically dies. Yep, that's all we needed was Maokai.
I was just saying it's risky. Yeah, I remember when I played LeBlanc, all you do, you try to jump in with Distortion. All he's got to do is point and click on you. He follows you all the way back.
Well, how about a counter-engage? Laud will still take the Nautilus ulti, but the fight still begins as they root up Solo in turret range. Frost does some damage, but it can't possibly be enough Absolute Zero to disengage. FLICKR knocks in
still
Solo.
in?
They still really want him, but I don't know if it's going to be successful. In goes Solo. It is a 5 versus 4. Exhaust on the Vayne means damage onto FLICKR, and it's a lot of it here. Hard. Forced to flash away. The poke lands, and Lod gets another kill as FLICKR falls. C9T back tied up in gold.
Tied up in gold, but this is going to be them getting their 4th dragon of the game if they're able to pick this up right here. So this control from the Nunu, the pick working out for them, and they're also just skittering around these fights. But man, Scarra, way too aggressive. Way too aggressive. You are so punishable on LeBlanc when there's a Maokai in the game. Speaking of punishable, though, they want more of this. Lorlo.
Great Howling Gale. Sheep wants to stop it. Lorlo going to take a lot of damage. He's not anywhere near Meganar. Kenny goes down, and Lorlo chunks his Hexdrinker from 1-0 from Cog. Unnecessary dive, and now 3 kills in a row have been given over to C9T.
Oh, man. Just, like you said, unnecessary dive there. Unnecessary to the limit. Because Lorlo's not even close to Meganar. He had just rezzed. That was a desperate play right there. And
he has no armor. He's built for the matchup against Maokai, and there's a very fed Sivir. Lot is 7-2-3.
Yeah, all he's got is the Ninja Tabi. But look at right into the cluster, and he's gonna get crit too. Crit. So 661 damage right off the bat. And that's the thing too about Maokai is you eat the W as LeBlanc, you're rooted, great. But then you get knocked up from the Arcane Smash and you still can't do anything. You can't snap back to another one. You can't cast another. Look at this fight. This is C9T.
But CLB have bought a lot of time. Solo will go down first. He went over aggressive. This time, Scarra baited it right.
Yeah.
He trained Maokai to press W and then go right into the team and die. So Scarra is the mastermind that CLB needs, but is it the mastermind that CLB deserves? The baits have been pretty damn good.
The baits have been hilarious to watch.
Sometimes he baits himself.
The one that didn't work out was so far my favorite. It was right into a cluster of 4 people. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, actually, you know what? I take that back. My favorite was the Kog'Maw one, where they came out on top. That was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. But the state of this game is very close. Vayne is big. LeBlanc is very big. But the thing is, C9T sitting on 4 dragons despite the gold lead of CLG Black. 1 more dragon and C9T can poke their way to a victory, like, for sure.
Everybody grouping up in the mid lane. Both top laners
Frost
showing up. They want to get this poke down. Frost.
Take him out. Scar goes to the flank. A lot of damage into Sheep. That's going to buy him a fair bit of time as Maokai tries to show up. No Righteous Glory used. And Sheep has gone Mikhail to help keep his team alive. I think it's a very smart choice for the extra support power here on Janna. But this is game 3. Winner joins the North American Challenger Series, and you're seeing the gravity of the situation kind of start weighing on these players. Right now, Baron's up, and it's methodical. CLB getting the push in mid. Sheep forced ult early to get away from Scarra. He needed that or he would have died.
Lorlo's
almost Meganar. He's almost dead, though, as well. Lands a stun. He's going to kill Lod. Down goes Sivir. Over-aggressive, but Jinte getting a lot of damage to the backside of this one. Kenny is low. FLICKR as well. But is it enough as Lorlo's doing what he can? Jinte does pick one up. He knocks down the support. He's going to get FLICKR as well. Scarra unable to fight and Frost too low to battle. It's a 2-for-1 in C9T's favor.
Amazing playing around that fight. Sheep able to just disengage Scarra at the start, and he used a lot to try and chunk him out. Scarra had to snap back, and then just the following fight, Jinte in the backlines, throwing out the living artillery and the front liners. Despite Lod with the misplay and the misposition being way too far forward, they were able to chunk out Lorlo and the rest of the team very early on, because nobody's really prioritized too much magic resistance just yet. You can see Lorlo won.
And he gets chunked out before Meganar, even gets poked out by the Cog as well, I think.
Yeah, eats the Caustic Spittle there, so a lot of his resistances are shred at this point, and he really can't stay in this fight. Lod does get taken out, but Frost, he's not able to actually stay in range of Solo anymore, because then that means he's in range of Jinte. And I love the fact that Sheep is still in the back line, despite being low, and he has Captain Boots, so every time Kog'Maw turns around to run towards Sheep, he's running incredibly quickly.
The thing is, CLB actually had a lot of split focus there. They killed Lod first before the fight started. They got a Gnar ulti on some of the tanks, but Scarra was looking for Jinte, while Frost was dealing with people diving him, much like game 1. Solo dives Frost. Frost can't handle it. Frost can no longer team fight.
Yeah, and zoning an AP Kog'Maw is pretty much impossible. You run up to him and he's like, no, I'm throwing things over you. He'll have to pay attention to you and run backwards a little bit and bait you into his front line. But otherwise, you can see the distance on that.
Yeah. CLB can easily just play around the Vayne. She can carry their team fights as long as Law doesn't kill everyone first. This time around, actually, Bloodthirster picked up third for Frost. Looks like he is feeling the extra pressure on him. I'm not sure if that's optimal, but...
Well, Laud, he is going for the Blade of the Rune King.
Yeah.
Fourth item, as opposed to the Bloodthirster we've seen from him before. Kenny wants to start this fight, though.
And he can't find an ult. He was trying to ult Kog'Maw and couldn't get it. Hard gets chunked pretty hard. Here comes the hard dive. They do get the stun, but will they reach him? Anar ult does not stun him, but it will kill off Sheep. No, yes, it will. The crit comes out. Low crit chance, but he gets it now. Solo trying to run, but Silverbolt's made a lot of damage. A 2-for-0 in CLB's favor.
They got rid of the heavy disengage, and Jinte, he was zoned from that fight. I said it's almost impossible. It's pretty much impossible, but they got him with the ultimate from the Nautilus, and he was out of the fight from the thought that Scar could just leap in there. Here's the thing. Hard, low. He's kind of low. Scar's in this brush. Scar could blow up whoever comes in.
Though.
And they're TPing in.
Chunk him. Yeah, they TP in the Gnar, and CLG Black will force them away. But yeah, Dragon 5 is spawning in 6 seconds. CLB could not possibly get there in time unless CLB can't get there in time unless C9T dallies, which they won't. Nunu and Sivir are there. It's going to be 5 people with Baron versus 5 people with Dragon 5, and the gold is only 3,000 apart.
In all honesty, picking up that Dragon may have been better for CLB, but it wouldn't have spawned in time.
Yeah.
They would have been low HP, and then they would have arrived, and C9T would have already been there having purchased up. So now they have to use this Baron buff, and C9T, they have to use that Dragon 5. So Dragon 5 is going to mean you want to fight. CLB with the Baron means you don't want to fight too much, but this composition is not built for that. They're going to get poked out if they don't.
Man, this is like every League fan's like awesome fantasy. It's like, all right, who would win, a Borg Cube or a Star Destroyer? Here we've got who would win, Baron buff or Dragon 5? This is my analogy, guys.
A Borg Cube.
Or a Star Destroyer.
A Star Destroyer or the Death Star?
No. The Death Star would clearly win. But a Star Destroyer versus the Borg Cube.
Cubes are kind of insane.
But they're not the size of moons. They do adapt, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Star Destroyer is not as equipped as the Borg
but I'm saying Death Star 1, which means there's nothing to adapt to. Death Star 2 would be easy.
Wait, are you saying Star Destroyer or Death Star?
I'm saying Star Destroyer. You kept saying Death Star, but I'm saying Star Destroyer.
I said, yeah. If it's Star Destroyer, I definitely think that it's Borg Cube favored.
Okay. Well, in that case, you're saying it's Dragon 5 favored.
Yeah.
Blue side is clearly Star Wars. C9T, the Trekkies here to push on forward.
C9 Trekkies.
See?
But they get to push on forward. The side waves are in the favor of CLB, though. And the siege begins dodging Jinte's skill shots. Dodging his ultimate.
He's only 15, actually. Jinte's been held down so far. At 36 minutes, he's still not rank 3 ulti. That's actually very rare, and he's not even close to 16 right now.
He's pretty far. He's about 1/4 of the way there. Yeah. Frost, though, level 17. The substitute, 2 levels up over Laud right now. You can see they want to fight. They're posturing for this fight. There's a huge mini wave that's going to hit that bottom turret fairly shortly. And C9T, they can't stick around. They can't fight. Like I said, this team wants to fight with this Dragon 5, but the team composition is not the comp that's like, all right, well, let's fight them. No, we want to poke them. And CLB's comp is built to fight. But with the Baron against the Dragon 5, you don't want to fight. You want to siege.
Exactly. And the tanks, even if C9T wanted to dive, they're not tanking enough to tank a turret and a Vayne. So they just, even though they can survive LeBlanc, they can't poke through enough. Mid lane turret goes down. Nice push by CLB off the fact that C9T had to go down to the bot side. At the point for the Star Destroyers here is they are sitting 3,500 gold up. Baron timed out. Dragon times out in like 12 seconds here.
Just for the record, though, Death Star would win. So it goes Star Destroyer, Born Cube, Death Star. That order. From weakest to strongest.
Okay.
Just put it on the board.
All right. Put it on the board?
Put it on the board. All right, that one's pretty good. That one got me. That one got me.
All right, man.
Everything's expired.
Yeah, I mean, we're back to where there's no objectives on the map for at least 3 minutes right now. Or about 3 minutes.
Everything on the line, though.
Lorlo once again built AD. He's built to try to carry. Whoop.
I like that stump.
Sneezed, I think.
I like that stump.
Yeah, it's a good-looking tree. Yeah, Lorlo built to be able to deal with solo. You can see he's actually getting a lot of farm. He's the second highest farm on his team. He's actually eclipsed Skara here. Lorlo's still got a lot of room to go tankiness-wise, which means he's actually not great against Laud. Sivir can actually kill him in fights with a nearly full build. But as time goes on, Nar gets invincible.
It looks like he's going to go for a Warmogs as well with that giant spell.
There's a chance it's Sunfire, but I think it's doubtful.
Yeah, I was expecting...
Oh, no, it isn't anymore.
It doesn't. Bomb Cinder. Yeah, I was expecting Thornmail from him, but he just wants even more HP because that's effective against more members.
Oh, yeah, it helps against Cog too, you're right. Although HP is not great against Ruin King or Cog's W, so it's deceptively not great.
It's deceptively meh.
I actually would have finished Banshees, to be honest. It's a good chunk of health, and the spell shouldn't matter quite a bit. Hard manages to grab.
I don't know about Banshees. Banshees or Spirit Visage here, because Banshees, there's a lot of ways to pop it.
Yeah, but if it gets popped, it's popped meaningfully.
Okay.
Unless it's a sapling. That's the only one you wouldn't want to block.
Yeah.
Everything else would matter. Taking a Cog looks pretty worth it.
Makes sense.
But, you know, he does want some other tank stats. And actually, the thing is, Warmogs is health regen. There's a lot of health regen. So getting regen against a poke team is actually quite meaningful. So I circle back to, I believe in Warmog.
Warmog Spirit Visage is what I would think.
Okay,
and I get the CDR on top of it.
I feel you on that one.
Because then he'll max out on it. We'll see. We'll see. This is
him.
why we watch the game, because we get to see what actually happens.
That's true. I'm going to say Death Cap on Renekton in this game. We're bringing back Darien.
Bold move.
Champ's not even in the game.
Bold call. Yep. Banshee's Veil, you're right on that one. All right.
I do like your rationale.
Yeah.
Skara level 17 here. Kog'Maw has finally hit 16, so Jinte hit another important level. Actually, I think Kog is the most ult rank reliant champion. The difference in power between rank 1 and 2 and 3 is probably higher than any other champion in the game.
Yeah, the range means a lot.
A lot. A lot of wards. Looks like Dragon is the objective that everyone thinks they want here. CLB managed to get a fair number of very good ones.
Well, if we get that first one, it's going to be huge for Skara. He'll hit another breakpoint and add basically like 30 more AD, 30 more AP on himself. Like, yeah, it'll be a nice bump.
450 ability power on him, 300 attack damage, so 18 AD on Vayne, 25 AP would go up to the LeBlanc here. Lorlo's Mega Narva gets disengaged by a Janna Tornado. Skara on the wings. He's going to find anything. Mega Nar is here, and C9T has to be afraid of this one.
You have to be afraid of hard stealing it, so they want to pop instead.
They go in onto Lorlo, who again is not that tanky, and Laud kills him. Into the backline, Skara misses the E on the stun Jinte. This means they can chase.
Frost is caught.
Frost is trying to run. He is caught. Pops the QSS, gets stunned up, gets killed off. A double kill for Laud. And C9T get Dragon number 5, number 2.
Skara couldn't really do anything in that fight. And that, like you said, that's Dragon 5 going over once again. Unless they can do something about this, is he going to try to go for the hero play? Let's see. W. It's so hard to steal,
good luck with that.
Yeah.
The 1800 true damage burst. No, thank you.
Might be at one frame in there where you can get it, but this is going to help them clear this Baron even faster. Frost won't be there. There's a TP available for Lorlo. If they go for a desperation play here, but right now, C9T 100% in the driver's seat of this game.
Dragon 5 killing Baron is so quick. It's down to half already. Hard's already got a smite and consume back up. How would you even try to steal this? Skara goes in for Jinte, gets him! Jinx, kill picked up. Kenny gonna get locked down though. He's got nowhere to go. Down goes the CLB support.
Hey, Thinkar, what'd you doing in the pit?
Sneaking.
How'd you get there?
Walking.
Yeah, apparently he got there behind everybody. It's one of those things where you jump in the pit and you're like, I hope they didn't see me. Good.
So, Dragon 5 and Baron on Cloud9 Tempest. They are missing Jinte for 30 seconds, though, which might give them some pause, which will actually cut about a minute or so off of those buff timers.
Yeah, they're going to be grouped up for the Baron. So the Baron loss isn't that big for Jinte, but the Dragon 5 is the only one. But now CLB, they don't have their own buff to contest this doubly buffed up C9T squad. Skara, he's going to look around. He's going to find somebody. He finds Hard.
That's a lot of damage.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Scar's like full build. He just needs the Abyssal Scepter next, and he's maybe actually goes QSS to survive Maokai CC, but certainly Scar is quite scary in this game.
Oh, he got interrupted.
Thinkard's losing a lot of health here. Siver's really chunking him out, and another kill's gonna go through. One last hit. Lod's on a rampage. He's 11-3 and 5, and Lorlo's gonna die as well.
Oh, these kills are just falling into the hands of C9T now. The gold evened up, about to be in their favor after they clear all these waves in Siege. There's a huge minion wave top. If they make it to the minion wave, Scar's going in for Jinte!
Oh, and he gets some, trades his life, but I think that's generally worth it. Problem is it's now a 4 versus 2.
For a minute.
Frost and Kenny could not possibly stop these sieges. Mid lane goes down. Gigantic wave top lane. Here comes Cloud9 Tempest to keep pushing in. And that's going to work quite well for them.
They're going to Baron buff this up. There
This
are
is a dead
two
inhibitor for sure. This could be the game. It's a 4 versus 2 for 20 seconds with this many minions. This is going to be maybe the challenger ticket for C9T. They're pushing forward.
It's all up to Frost the sub. He can't really do too much though. They're so tanky and they're just going to ignore them and go straight for the game.
Ignore champions, acquire objectives. Never mind, Frost goes down. Kenny's going to lose his life if he sticks around. That will be the Nexus. Cloud9 Tempest in a 6-1 run will qualify for the North American Challenger Series.
That was pretty much the only time in the game where they were actually ahead.
Yeah.
They got behind early, dropped down 50 CS on Jinte to Skara, and then just one misplay after another led to CLB falling behind. Skara ends the game 7-3-1, and he still loses the game.
I mean, Skara managed to make some individual plays, but the team fights just did not work the way CLB wanted. We had multiple picks. Lorlo built for the split push, and that's fine if you're able to split push, but Lorlo got himself into team fights a lot, and when you've built a Hex Drinker and a Black Cleaver where you're spending like 4,500 gold on 400 health and 25 MR, you die really fast, and a Blood-Boiled Sivir is going to do that to you. A Ruin King, Blood-Boiled, level 18 Sivir. Lod killed Lorlo way too fast. He killed Thinkard really fast as well, and the front line could not hold up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Maokai Kog'Maw makes Vayne run away.
Yeah, another really good game from Lod, 13-3-5 out of the 21 kills, involved in 18 of them. Amazing kill participation pretty much throughout all the games that we saw him in. So this is a guy that you need to keep your eyes on during Challenger, is Lod. He's back on the AD carry role. I wonder if Jinte's going to stay in the mix longer on this team. We'll have to see what ends up happening there, but the fact that Lod is back on that type of role for him is just really good for C9T.
So impressive stuff by him. And now, anyway, joining us to talk about that victory on the Rift is Cloud9 Tempest's AD carry, Lod. Welcome to the show, and congrats on the win, man.
Thanks, man.
So I want to actually ask you a little bit about the Champs League situation. So game 1, you crushed everyone on Jinx, and then game 2, you're like, Sivir, oh god, but we lost. Why'd you go back to Sivir again? Were you just so comfortable with those compositions?
I think Sivir right now is like my favorite AD to play overall. Like, I played Jinx in game 1 because Sivir and Khaleesi were both banned. But even though we lost game 2 on Sivir, I've mostly had like really, really good results on her. So I was comfortable going back on her, even if they were going to counterpick me again.
And so last time we saw you in the Challenger Series, I know before you played AD carry, then you swapped to mid. Now you're back on AD carry. Why are you back on AD carry, and how does it feel?
Basically, I was pretty happy on mid, but I've spent a lot more time playing competitively as an AD, and everyone, including myself, is kind of telling me that like I would just be better on AD overall. And then when Cloud9 Tempest was being formed, basically they were holding tryouts, and like I had a better opportunity as an AD carry than I would have as a mid lane. So I felt like it was a good career decision to just swap back.
Well, you're now in the Challenger Series, so clearly that was a pretty damn good decision for you. I do want to bring up the mid lane point, though. Jinte coming in kind of in the 11th hour with Yusui ineligible, at least this week. Tell me how kind of prepping with Jinte went.
It went pretty well. We practiced with him for like a few days, and our scrim results were like, they were not the greatest, but I don't know. We just got a little bit unlucky for scrims. We felt like somewhat confident going into the games, and we think like Jinte performed really, really well. So like I'm so thankful for him for stepping in and helping us out. Like he did really, really good, especially just considering how last minute it was.
All right, so I've been seeing you in the Challenger Series for a very long time now, and you keep coming back, and you almost make it. I remember you went to London Roadshow and all of that. So why do you want the LCS so badly, and why are you going to get it this time?
I don't know. Like for the past 5 years, like back starting in season 1, like I've just always wanted to like play pro. And, you know, I've been like so close so many times for the past few years that I feel like it would be a shame if I just like quit and gave up the dream. So it's just like a huge dream for me. I want it pretty much more than anything in the world. And I think I'm like most confident in this team than I've been with any other team that I played with. So I think I have the greatest chance this time. So yeah.
Well, it looks like a really good team, so congratulations on the win and good luck to you for the rest of the split, man.
Yeah, great interview too, dude. Thanks for answering 2-part questions. Love that.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah, of course, man. So congrats on a great set of games, and we have now C9T in the North American Challenger Series. They have clinched that spot. So now we've got Team Coast, Winter Fox, Final 5, tonight's champions Misfits, and tonight's champions Cloud9 Tempest. We've got one more team to go.
Yeah, exactly. There's one more spot left with the departure of Team Fusion from the league. So Magnetic and CLG Black, the losers from today, will battle for that final berth next Tuesday in an offline best-of-3 match. VODs of that game will be available at lolesports.com after next Tuesday.
It's going to be a whole bunch of fun, guys. So the Summer Challenger Series officially will kick off in 2 weeks on Tuesday, June 23rd. But before then, there is plenty more league action to whet your esports appetite.
Yeah, tomorrow, week 3 of the EULCS gets underway as Origen takes on the Unicorns of Love. Then Rawcat battles Giants Gaming and SK Gaming take on H2K. It all gets started at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time.
So with that, we reach the end of our time together tonight. I'm going to miss you guys so much, but for myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching, good night, and GG.
Pinkwood's dead! No!
Yes! Last man standing. Good night, guys. Lorlo means he can disengage himself. The body slam lands a lot of damage on a Sheep. Kenny has aggro, flashes away, takes the last turret shot and dies. The dive from Frost, a bit aggressive though, gets chunked out by Cog and Sivir. He screwed that fight up, but Lon chasing him for the kill will also get chunked out. He's almost dead though as well, lands a stun. He's gonna kill Lon! Down goes Sivir, over aggressive.
They're so tanky and they're just gonna ignore them and go straight for the game.
Ignore champions, acquire objectives. Never mind, Frost goes down. Kenny's gonna lose his life if he sticks around. That will be the next.